Hello, I'm Manga Captor, and my TBR is getting a little out of hand, so I've decided to pump the brakes and put myself under a book buying ban. I know, and the idea is that I'm not going to be buying any new books or manga volumes until I get through my TBR. Now, I do have some pre-orders that are on the way, so this pile is only going to get bigger, so let's go ahead and get started and try to make our way through this TBR that's getting a little out of hand. Hello, it is the next day and I have some reading updates to share. So yesterday I finished reading volume 2 of The Other World's books Depend on the Bean Counter. This series is just like my #1 comfort read right now, and I am so happy that I also got on board to the manga because it is just so well done, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. And then after that, I went ahead and picked up this Fullmetal Alchemist light novel. I started reading this months ago, but then I stopped because there were other things I was reading at the time that I was more interested in, like Heaven Official's Blessing. So I put this on the back burner for quite some time, and then I picked it up last night. I just finished it this morning, and it's okay. The story itself is fine. It's just not that exciting. The main reason why I stuck through and I finished this was because I enjoy the characters, but even then, they just feel like silhouettes. They don't feel like their entire selves. I think I'm just going to skip on the Fullmetal Alchemist light novels. I originally thought I wanted to read them all, but honestly, I think I am not that interested anymore after having finished this. So this is our progress so far. I've finished 2 books on my TBR cart, and now I'm going to pick out a new one to read next. Alright, so this is what we're working with currently, but I realized that I can't read these until I actually play the video game. I am currently playing Devil Survivor on my 3DS, and I'm enjoying it, and I just don't want to spoil myself on what happens story-wise, so I'm going to actually remove these from the TBR. It's not cheating, it's called strategy? No, it's just simply not wanting to spoil myself on a story that I know would be better told through the video game. So I'm gonna remove these. And I also have this Fire Emblem manga in Japanese. I am going to read this, but to be honest, reading Japanese is very hard. I am very much a beginner when it comes to reading in Japanese, so I know that this is going to take me a long time. I'm going to also set this one aside. So basically what I'm trying to do is just show what my physical TBR is that I have to get through before buying more books. Actually, I have 2 more manga volumes that I gotta put up here. I also have volume 1 and 2 of Soul Rescue by Ayakano. I don't know anything about this. I got it just because it's Ayakano and I want to read it. So that is a more accurate representation of my physical TBR in terms of manga. But I also have novels. I also have The Samurai's Garden by Gail Tsukiyama, which is one that I need to read. And I recently got Circe by Madeline Miller, which I also need to read. I have this book by Gail Tsukiyama as well, but I didn't know that this is the second book in a duology, so I can't read this one yet, so this is not going to count. And then I also have Eileen, which I need to read. And I have His Last Bow, which is some Sherlock Holmes stories. Okay, so here we go. Here is a look at what I have to read before I buy more books. This is a lot, but like I said, I have pre-orders on the way. I'm actually getting a new volume of manga today that I'm very excited about, and I'm going to read it as soon as it gets here. So this is only gonna get bigger, which is why I needed to do this video and just try to get through this TBR, because I know this doesn't seem like a lot perhaps to a very, very avid reader, but for me, seeing a TBR cart that's pretty full just gives me stress. So out of this physical TBR shelf, I think what interests me the most is maybe Soul Rescue, because it's just a 2-volume series, and it's by Ayakano that did Ottoman, which is a series that I just really, really love. So I'm curious to see her other works. I also started reading Requiem of the Rose King, which I really want to continue right now, but I'm on a buying ban, so I cannot buy the rest of the volumes. But trust me, that is one of the things that I will buy as soon as I finish this TBR. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one up, and I'll let you guys know what I thought about it. So I recently finished volume 1 of Soul Rescue. This is basically about this rogue angel that is far too violent for an angel. You know, angels and demons, they battle it out from time to time, and this angel named Renji is just, he takes it so far on the battlefield. He is just so violent and aggressive, and God is like, you need to chill. So, I'm going to send you to Earth, and you're going to rescue 10,000 souls. Like, okay. So Renji is sent to Earth along with an assistant angel named Gaito, and together they look for humans that need their soul rescued. And honestly, I was vibing with this, but that also may have been the fact that I was listening to some really good music while reading this, which really like amped it up. It brought it to the next level. I personally really love manga about angels and demons, which is why I really enjoyed Wish by Clamp, which is right over there. So I knew I was in good hands with this first volume, and I enjoyed it. I will say that this series is only 2 volumes long, and the main protagonist has to save 10,000 souls. So, you know, I'm not good at math, but that doesn't seem possible in 2 volumes, so I'm interested to see where the story is gonna go. I will also add that the pacing in this first volume is really fast. It's kind of like a collection of short stories almost, in a way, because our main character Renji goes from lost soul to lost soul to lost soul to lost soul, and so each lost soul only gets so many pages in this volume, and because of that the climax of their troubles just crescendos really quickly, and some stories are a little bit hard to believe or weird. It's just Ayakano, I don't know. And that's what I really loved about Ottoman, because Ottoman just had some outlandish stories, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buckle in and I'm just going to accept what Ayakano is telling me and enjoy the ride. And that's what I did with this and had a good time. Enough rambling about this. I got a package in the mail. Here it is. Ravioli reveal. I know what's in here and I'm very, very excited about it. So I'm just gonna put the mic here for now so you guys can still hear me. I hope that was good ASMR and not bad. I won't know until I edit this video. Okay, we have punctured into the contents of this ravioli package. Oh my god, I can see that it's damaged. Oh no. Okay, but it's not that bad, I think. Oh my gosh, you guys. Volume 21 of What Did You Eat Yesterday? This is the newest volume. This just came out in June, Pride Month. I mean, that's just awesome. I love it. I love that there's a new volume now to this series. But just look at them. They have to be like my favorite manga couple, I think. I really shouldn't be flipping through it, but I just can't resist. I just want to look. I just want a little look. Oh my god. Okay. I'm processing the information that I just read. Okay. I am gonna go read this right now. I gotta go. I'm gonna go. All right. I really got caught in the wind of reading, and I was like, oh yeah, I have to update you guys on my thoughts. I forgot. So yesterday, as we all saw, I got volume 21 of What Did You Eat Yesterday? And I ate this up in one sitting and I really enjoyed it. This is just so cute. The characters have just come so far, and reading about these characters for 20 volumes and getting to read this, it is just so rewarding seeing where the story is at and how people are growing, and I just love it so much. I love character-driven stuff, so this was really good. And then after that, I went ahead and picked up another manga volume, and I read volume 2 of Soul Rescue. Now, I really did enjoy the first volume of this, but the second volume just tanked. It flopped, it did not perform. I was really rooting for it and it failed me. The ending to this short duology is just not satisfying. I feel like this story could have gone further in terms of story. There was still more to discover and talk about. To my surprise, the story of Soul Rescue is only like this far. It's this chunk, okay? And then this other part here is all a short story that is completely unrelated. The short story in here is called Dream Colored Junk. The short story at the end of this volume is okay. It feels a little underbaked, but the characters really remind me of Otomen, and Otomen is one of my favorite works from Ayakano. So it's really cool to see some inklings of those characters, and overall I'm happy to have this in my collection. And after that I decided to move on to a novel, so I picked up Circe, and I've read up to chapter 4, and it's kind of heavy. It's kind of depressing. It's a lot to take in. It's basically about our protagonist Circe, who is narrating her story, and she talks about like her childhood, her upbringing, and how it was just really unhealthy. Her parents were just really uninvolved in her life, really didn't care about her all that much. The women in these stories are honestly just viewed as assets. The more beautiful they are, the better, because then they might be able to marry a demigod or a god even. It is... it's a lot, but I'm excited to read more because Madeline Miller is just very lyrical and beautiful with her writing at times. Like, I highlighted a page that I was just like, woof. So I'll just read you a little bit of what I highlighted. This is a conversation between Cersei and her brother asks, "How does your divinity feel?" And he gives an example. He says, "Let me tell you how mine feels, like a column of water that pours ceaselessly over itself and is clear down to its rocks. Now you." I pressed my hand to my chest, and after a little it did seem that I felt something. "A shell," I said. "And what is in that shell, a snail?" "Nothing," I said. "Air." "Those are not the same," he said. "Nothing is empty void, while air is what fills all else. It is breath and life and spirit, the words we speak." Oh my god. And then that sent me into a whole spiral about how can we even perceive true nothingness? And it just sent me into this whole thing. And that is what I love about Madeline Miller's writing. It really makes me think. Like, I'm here for the story, I'm experiencing it, and I'm learning about the characters, but I feel like I'm also learning about myself and my thought process. I love it so much. So despite how dark this is, there are still these really interesting, beautiful moments that I really enjoy, and this is what just makes a book for me. So yeah, I feel like I'm doing pretty good so far. I have a lot of energy when it comes to reading. I feel like giving myself this book ban has really motivated me to read more, and by reading more, I feel like my passion for it is just reignited. So it's a win-win situation. Hello again. It's been a little bit since I've updated you guys on where I'm at in the challenge of overcoming my TBR. Today, I decided to have a super cozy day and just read a ton, which meant I didn't vlog a ton, but here I am to update you guys on what I've read and let you know my thoughts. So let's go ahead and get started. First up is volume 6 of Usotoki Rhetoric. I really enjoyed this. This was honestly one of the most fun volumes I've read in the series, and Kanoko is just such an incredible character in this volume. I feel like she really gets to shine. We see how strong she is and capable, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then the next thing that I finished was Circe. This book took me about 2 weeks, I think, to finish, maybe a little bit more, but today I literally read 140 pages of this because the story got to a point where I was just like, I need to know what's gonna happen because it's getting intense and I'm nervous as I'm flipping the pages, and before I knew it, it was over. And I want to say that I enjoyed this. It's not my favorite thing that I've ever read. I just feel like this kind of dragged in certain places a little too long. I wish there were more scenes of like witchcraft and things like that. Circe is like this really interesting demigod who awakens to her witchcraft powers, and it's a very like tragic but also kind of empowering tale, but it's also still very depressing, like most Greek mythology can be, and I think this was well written. Parts of it were very beautiful, lyrical, poetic. I'm happy to have read another Madeline Miller book. I know that she's working on a book for Persephone. I'm just so excited to see how she's going to tell the story of Persephone, and I don't know when it's coming out, nobody knows, but I hope that it is not too far from now. And after I finished Circe, I was really in the mood to read some manga, so I picked up One Piece. I was craving this because the novel Circe has so many scenes with ships and the ocean. There's not much to say about this. It was just a fun adventure with my favorite pirate crew, and this is just something that I love coming back to. It just never fails me. It's sturdy, it's reliable, and I'm very happy to be reading this series. And so that wraps up my reading vlog. I still have more of my TBR to go through, but I feel like I made a good amount of progress, and I will continue to make progress because you guys, I am struggling not to buy books. Filming this vlog and committing to a book buying ban has made me realize that I kind of buy books to feel comfort, and you know, that's a good thing and a bad thing, and I really need to manage that better. So this is how I'm managing it. There might not be as many manga haul / book haul videos on my channel for a little bit as I work through my TBR, but trust, there will be one, and it will be a very rewarding thing. I'm already thinking of all the titles I'm going to purchase. And you know, I kind of feel like Sisyphus, like I am pushing against this ever-growing TBR only to have it grow again because there are so many good things to read, and yeah, I've just accepted my fate. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this vlog. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a like, and if you want to watch more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. It really helps my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!